Hey, what's happening, everybody? The data is now in from the Columbus Board of Realtors for the month of November. New listings are pathetic. Sales are pathetic. Active listings are still pathetic. And the price is actually dropping. Median sale price in Central Ohio is dropping. And that's what we're talking about today. I'm on the TJ Evans Bike Trail, which is a great 14-mile trail through Central Ohio and through Licking County. And I'm out here today on a cold December day with Miss Elaine Bennis. Say hello, Elaine. But before I get started in this video, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button because you don't want to miss a video like this, and please hit the like button if you get any value out of today's video. My name is Jason Ferrier. I am a real estate agent in Ohio and I work for Kiger Realty. I'm happy to help you with any type of buying, selling, or investing in property here in Ohio. So anyway, let's get started in the video. I hope you enjoy it. Let's go through a few stats. The first thing we're going to talk about is pricing. Median sale price actually dropped to $299,000. And it's actually dropped a few months in a row from its peak at $324,000 back in June of this year. So pricing is dropping. Median sale price is now under 300 grand, but I'd probably consider that more seasonality than anything. I'm not quite sure that it's a, wouldn't call it a crash, obviously. And every year in the winter, prices go down. So this is no exception. I don't think there's anything to be alarmed about there. When you look at the median asking price though, you can see the median asking price is actually now 350 grand, right below 350 grand. So that has steadily gone up, over the past several years, as you can see on this chart. And by the way, all this information is from the Columbus Board of Realtors. That's where I got all this data. That's what you're seeing on the screen. So the median asking price continues to go up, and that really represents how much sellers are asking for their houses. What are sellers expecting to get? And so you see the sale price is $299 and the asking price is $350. You can see the spread that's happened over the past few months. Ever since rates were started to go elevated in August or so of last year, you could see how the asking price and the median sold price started to separate. And there's a gap there. And that gap looks like it's actually widening because there are more expensive houses on the market than affordable houses. That means that if you look at the median price of asking, it's going to continue to probably go up steadily if more and more expensive inventory hits the market and cheaper houses don't hit the market. And that's what we're kind of seeing. Okay, now let's talk about inventory. That's next. And from what you can see on the screen there, let's start with new listings. New listings, we had 2,350 new listings hit the market in the month of November, which isn't very good. Last year we had a little less than that. Last month we had about the same. So there isn't a whole lot of increase in the new listings, the number of properties hitting the market to purchase. And you can see it's actually going down significantly right now, as it always does in the winter. But if this continues to go down and you look across the board as to where it was in 2019, it's really not that much better, right? So it's just stagnant. People are not wanting to put their house on the market because they don't want to pay higher interest rates when they have to move. That's definitely something to keep your eye on, is the amount of new listings. And that can kind of give you a pulse as to where the inventory may be headed. Now, active listings, because new listings have been so bad, active listings really haven't gone up that much. They're about flat from last month and last year. So again, not a whole lot of movement there. Just inventory is stagnant because, again, people don't want to put their houses on the market. No new listings. And despite what a lot of people want to think or what they are hoping for, there hasn't been an explosion of inventory in Ohio at all. And with Intel coming to Central Ohio, and it's already here, and more people are moving in the area, this is like the wrong time for that because there is no inventory. All right, something else we need to talk about with new listings is this theory that I hear on YouTube. I hear it in the media too. I've read it in comments that, hey, when the interest rates drop, we are going to have an explosion of inventory because a bunch of sellers who have been waiting to sell their property now want to sell because rates are low. We just talked about the fact that rates are higher, so a lot of sellers don't want to sell. A lot of people who own their house, they don't want to sell and put their house on the market because they don't want to pay a higher price and a higher interest rate. So the theory is, by a lot of people who for some reason are hoping for an inventory explosion, they think it's coming, they think, well, you know what's going to happen? We're going to have a massive amount of people put their house on the market once interest rates drop. But the question is, to them, and just logically, what happens when interest rates drop, right? Like, people may want to put their house on the market, but then they have to buy something else. So any inventory that's freed up is just going to be taken by somebody selling a house, right? Or somebody who finally wants to buy, like a first-time home buyer, because rates drop, or an investor like me. I don't know. I think it's insane to think that, oh, there's going to be a bunch of inventory all coming on the market because interest rates drop. It's just nuts. All right, now let's talk about sold transactions, the number of closed deals. That actually is about 350 less than we had last month and 100 less than we had last year. And this is not really improved. You can tell, you know, over the past several years, this has continued to go down and down, and it's just stagnant. Again, people are not wanting to put their houses on the market, and because of that, they're not buying new ones. Or then, you know, the move up buyer's gone. They're not buying the next house. So because of that, the number of closed deals is low. It's dreadfully low. Okay, now let's look at the months of supply. 1.84 months, which is not great at all. In fact, it's really still a seller's market in Ohio, in central Ohio. It's really still a seller's market. And you really need 6 months of supply to be a buyer's market, and you need about 3 months even to be a balanced market. So we're well away from even a balanced market. We're at 1.84 months, which is really an increase, and it's actually the highest level since January of 2020. So yeah, there's definitely an increase in months of supply. But if you look at the active listing count and the new listings, you're going to see that it's still anemic. My theory behind why months of supply is increased, but active inventory and new listings aren't doing much, is because there's a lot more expensive houses on the market that are sitting. In fact, if you look at the data and take a look at this chart that I made, I created this chart. I did some of my own analysis based on the data from Columbus Board of Realtors. You can see that houses priced under $500,000, that inventory is down 10% year over year for the month of November. However, if you look at houses priced over 500 grand, that inventory is up 37%. So there's a lot more houses on the market that are well over the median. And as those stack up, it's going to drive the months of supply higher and higher, because the houses that are inexpensive aren't hitting the market, and when they do, they sell quickly. And the houses that are really expensive are just sitting there for the most part. So yeah, that's there's no doubt that that is what's in play there, as far as I'm concerned, when I look at that data. All right, now let's look at the sale to list price ratios. And these are really important because they can give you an idea of what people are expecting for their houses. We just saw the median asking price was about $350, but now we can see from the price to sale ratio where houses are selling compared to what people are asking for. So from a list price to sale price, you could tell it's about 100%. I mean, it's right under 100%, right? So that tells me that sellers pretty much are getting what they're asking for their houses. So if they currently have their house listed at $100,000, let's say, 100 grand, that'd be awesome, right? You used to be able to buy a house in Ohio for 100 grand just a few years ago, but not anymore, really. That tells me anyway that the sellers are getting pretty much what they're asking for their houses. If they're listing a house at 100 grand, they're pretty much getting 100 grand for it when the contract goes in. However, when you look at the sale to original list, that tells me something different. That tells me that there is a slight discount compared to the original asking price. So it looks like sellers have had to drop some of their prices slightly, you know, a little under 3%, not a ton, but they have had to drop their prices from the original asking price. Then buyers are pretty much paying what the sellers are asking for that new lower asking price. Now, not everybody's dropping prices. There's not a ton of price drops in Ohio, but there are some. And so that's what I'm seeing there on that chart, and that can kind of give you a guide as to, hey, what are people expecting versus what are they getting right now? They're getting basically what they are listing the house for. However, they are dropping the price slightly. All right, so here's a quick summary of what we talked about. That was a lot of data. So you've got median sale price now at $299, down from its peak at $324,000 just, you know, in June of this year. And you have asking price, median asking price continuing to climb, which tells me again that there are a lot more expensive homes stacking up, and sellers in general are getting actually what they're asking for their property, what they have it advertised for today. They're getting about 99 point some percent, I think it's 99.3% of the of the list price, but they are dropping it a little under 3% based on the original asking price. And then lastly, inventory is growing for houses priced over 500 grand. That's up 37% compared to houses priced under 500 grand. That inventory is down 10% for the month of November. So what does all this mean if you're a buyer, seller, or investor? If you're a buyer, and you're looking for an affordable house, you're gonna have to look every day and be dedicated to going out and finding an opportunity. And if you really wanna find a house as a first-time home buyer or somebody looking for an affordable house well under the median, then you need to do some guerrilla marketing. You gotta go out, drive the streets, send some letters yourself to some owners of houses that may be something you want to purchase. You're gonna have to look off market. I would look at wholesalers. I would talk to multiple real estate agents. I would look at every data feed you can, you know, auctions, foreclosures, whatever. You're just gonna have to go like guerrilla marketing in order to find a deal. If you are buying over the median, that's a good thing right now. Like, I mean, interest rates are a little higher, but you certainly have opportunities and stuff to pick from. And I'm sensing that this winter you could even find a better deal on an expensive house. So if you're shopping for something in the $800,000 range, $1 million range, there's probably some deals out there to get. Some sellers may need to unload some of that property. And who knows, you could even get seller financing. All right, well, that's what Elaine and I had today. We got to get back home, but I appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much. Again, my name's Jason Ferrier. I'm with Kiger Realty, if I didn't say that already. But do me a favor, hit the like button, consider subscribing. Elaine and I will catch you on the next video.